superhero names for yourselves individually. You can't just Norin, can't use Rad. What would it be?
Max Power, definitely. Max Power. You can't get any more power than Max Power. That's as far as you can go. It's like cranking it to 11. You can't go any further than that.
I'd probably want to go with Sriracha Man.
Sriracha Man? You eat a lot of that?
A lot.
Yes.
A lot. Your manager actually makes the best.
Shoot some Sriracha from your fingertips.
Superpowers. Perfect. You're both born and raised in Orange County? Okay. How do you think your, I guess, Southern California upbringing has affected your music production?
I think it has everything to do with it.
The rocker side, everything. I mean, we grew up pretty much around all that kind of stuff. I think it has a big influence on music.
From like alternative rock to like just like rap, hip hop stuff that we all listened to growing up and going through like our teens and everything. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with like that's where we get our energy from. It's from because we listen to alternative rock. We're really into like that energetic, heavy feel. And yeah, I mean it's pretty much Southern California is like the hot spot for the melting. It's the melting pot of the melting pot. We always say because it's got everything there, and I feel like it's awesome because like culturally. Like you can experience literally everything, just that little bit of just that little city. So it makes it really interesting for what kind of perspective we gain, I think. And so that's what really projects onto our tracks when we start working on it.
Awesome. That's that's awesome. I don't know. I mean, you can find San Francisco, but not like LA.
Every type of place is its own little vibe.
It's a little different though.
No, definitely, yeah, definitely different. But every city has its vibe that we can pick little pieces of influence in its music.
Speaking of influences, I was reading one of your guys' past interviews. It was, I think, the Angina Beats Volume 9. You guys mentioned Flying Lotus as an inspiration. I'm a huge Flying Lotus fan. So, what aspects did you guys take, or is it more of just like you feel inspired when you listen to Flying Lotus?
We definitely feel inspired. I mean, aspects. He takes a lot of
sample a lot from it. I mean,
percussive wise,
take a little blips from songs and it just works in that.
Yeah. What are your other influences?
I mean, it ranges so wide. I mean, we literally listen to everything, like on our iPod. It's not just like dance music or indie rock or alternative or anything. Yeah, there's this guy Clark, he does a whole sampling album, and it's all like, kind of glitch hop feel, like you watch Adult Swim ever? It's like this Cartoon Network show, and their whole thing, the music that they put on their commercials is all like some of the best music that you'll ever hear because, they find all these underground artists like this guy Clark, and he just had this album, Iridelphic, and it's like so experimental. He literally samples like, a lot of like guitar tracks, drum tracks, and everything is like a real instrument, but he puts it together in a way that it revamps it and it comes out so like artistically, like it's just beautiful, it's awesome, and I think that's like a huge inspiration for us, like just being like unique, having something to you where you can call your own or like your own sound or and I feel like we're just slowly trying to develop that.
Awesome. Well, you're doing a good job at it. You don't really stay stagnant for very long. You guys definitely have a Norin Rad sound, like a signature sound, but I mean, you kind of go all over the board, which is good.
Yeah, usually we have periods where we'll do a couple tracks the same kind of way, different definitely, but it's annoying to us to keep stay in the same type of way. But yeah, we still keep our feelings. It's just a type of music.
Well, that being said, this is like a really hard question. If you had to choose one of your original productions to make someone like a Norin Rad like Insta fan, what track do you think it would be?
You mean like show somebody our music?
Yeah, if they've never heard of Norin Rad and you wanted to guarantee they're going to continue listening to your music, like what kind of sums up yourself? I know it's really hard.
Who in the world? music?
No.
Sorry.
She's saying if you were to show somebody our music, what would be the one song that you think you would show them to be like, this is us, you know, this defines us in every.
To make them make sure they were going to continue listening to you guys and follow you guys as artists.
I think probably the Suddenly Summer remix, because it has like every aspect that we could into that track of our elements, you know. Yeah, exactly. The past and everything. I mean, we took our elements from, you know, Bloom and the Gift, like for how we wanted to do the groove and everything, and then, you know, with our new style Pistol Whip, we really made the ending just powerful, and of course, he always makes the breakdowns just perfect. So, I mean, that would probably be the best way to define ourselves at this stage. But, you know, like we're saying, it grows and grows and grows, and, you know, it could be 2 weeks from now, I'll be saying it's a completely different track, and, you know.
Yeah. Glad you said that, I'm a huge Armin fan. Hi, Armin! Awesome. At what point individually did you both know that music was what you wanted to do? Like dropping everything, to be producer, DJ, whatever?
I mean, I realized basically when everything started picking up, like, I had been in a few like bands in high school and played guitar and stuff like that. I played piano, but for the most part, nothing ever really stuck, and I was never like, okay, this is, you know, definitely what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to have a career in music, you know, I just didn't know what. And I think after him and I met and we started gaining some success, I was just kind of like, you know, I guess this is the path I should start following.
Nice. And you?
For me, I just started when I was 19. I actually was doing architecture. Architecture, well, not full on architecture, but graphic design. Just, you know, 3D renderings and stuff. And then I went to my first festival, and I mean, pretty much never looked back. I was just like, I want to do this. I don't know why I wanted to. I've always been, you know, into music and electronic and stuff like that, but I never really, you know, actually, you know, persisted on doing something like that. And I was just trying. It's worked out so far, so I'm sticking to it. So.
Awesome. Well, making a name for yourself, that's good. How did your families react to that? Just like, I don't want to be an architect anymore, whatever, I'm gonna drop in and maybe just go travel the world, make music. Like,
my mom's actually supported it from day one. She supported me in every single thing I've ever done. So I mean, I give her the most credit for anything I've ever done. So,
nice, yeah. Say hi to Mom.
I think we both got really lucky. I mean, my parents too, you know, my dad was the one who taught me how to play guitar and everything, so he like really helped to push me towards like the direction of music at first, and then when it came time to where, you know, we were traveling and we're, you know, doing all these things now, he was just stoked for me, and he's like, you know, I'm just really glad that this is what you're going to do, and I hope that it continues with success, you know. And they were just really supportive, really cool, you know, just like his mom, like, and we're just really lucky, both our parents just couldn't be better about it. You know, we never went through that like, oh my God, you're gonna do what? You know, we kind of waited until we had a little bit of success to show, you know, to present to them, like, hey, you know, like, yeah, we didn't want to just up and jump the gun, you know, and just, hey Mom, I'm quitting everything I'm doing.
Awesome. Well, glad you guys have the support of the family. It's important. So you guys have recently started touring.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. What so far has been the coolest place you guys have visited? Tomorrowland?
Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Definitely Tomorrowland.
Alright, well, I was looking at pictures and I got
that festival is insane.
It's the craziest festival in the world. I think one of the coolest things was just being there, you know, all the hospitality that they give you, and it's just like, you know, wow, this is so great, like they give you like the most insane amount of food to select from there, you know, they're like cooking lobster tails in the back. Yeah, I'm not even kidding you, that is 100% fact.
Oh my gosh.
And then it's like, yeah, and then it's like
Tomorrowland shoes.
Lobster and shoes.
And so after that, it's like, you know, we went to the back, and it's like we're trying to walk from stage to stage, and we're like, it's taken us a while, you know, to get from each one, and the guys are like, you guys should take a cart, you know, like, that's the best way to get from stage to stage, because it's such a big festival that you literally walk 10 minutes to get to the next stage, you know, yeah. So, like, experiencing that and seeing it all, I mean, we walked through and went inside to the festival and just, like, went and walked around in there and everything, and it was insane. It was, the production, everything, there's nothing like it. I think that slowly we're catching on to it here, but we're just barely scratching the surface of that.
So, about the gift. I feel like that was really what put you guys on the radar for a lot of your fans, producers, labels. Did you guys have any clue at all that that was going to be the key to your success? Like,
honestly, the first time I made it, I literally was kind of like iffy about the entire track, but every time I could listen to it over and over and over, it was better and better and better and better. And then every person we've ever asked said exactly the same thing. The first time they ever heard it, they were like, okay, it's an okay track, and then I listened again and again and again. Hey, this is not too bad. And then, yeah, we never expected it to get as big as it did.
I think I remember, like, you know, when you're starting out, you praise Beatport and everything, like, Beatport stands for. So I think I literally called him, like, the day we saw it was, like, #2 in the chart or something. It's like, it's at #2. I don't know how, like, I didn't know that this was going to happen, you know, and, like, you know, before that we had never had a track, like, even anywhere remotely that successful, and so it was really weird. And I think one thing that was so weird too was that we didn't see a lot of the success until a few months after it had already been released and charted and everything. Then we started noticing, you know, Above and Beyond playing it, and a lot of other people just playing it out everywhere, mashups coming out of it and everything. And so we were just really excited at that point. We were like, you know, just fingers crossed, hopefully this is going to be, you know, the one that can put us through. And sure enough, you know, I mean, the greatest thing about that was, you know, Chad and Dave from Tritonal and Will Holland from Enhance, they helped us out. You know, they put the track on their label as a second release, and Air Up There, second release on that label, and it made it up to #2, you know. So it was on a brand new label, brand new track from a brand new name, and we somehow pushed through all of that, the rest of the stuff that's out. So it was a good experience. It was a great feeling when we both, you know, we felt accomplished and kind of like, you know, maybe this is what we should be doing. And, you know, we were just like so glad to be a part of like all these fans and everything. And then Anjuna Beats contacted us, and that's how we established our relationship with them.
That's awesome. I mean, I'll credit Tritonal and Air Up There. That's the first time I heard The Gift was in the podcast.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They just kind of like kept playing like the song before it, that, and the one after it.
They've been so awesome. They took that track, and you know, we showed it to them when it was just an idea, and they were cool enough to be like, you know what, if it's got potential, why don't you guys work on it a little bit and we'll see what we got. And they signed it. We were so happy, you know, and it was awesome. Yeah, we can't thank all of them enough. You know, Will, Chad, and Dave. It's been awesome. And then of course, everything now that Above and Beyond's done for us is just through the roof. It's insane.
That's why they call it an Anjuna family.
It's definitely a family.
So aside from The Gift, we've seen a lot of amazing productions from you guys, especially recently. Pistol Whip is definitely one of my favorites. What can we expect from you in the near future as far as any collaborations you're allowed to talk about, or artist album?
Artist album's coming.
We actually have just started it.
Good.
We're already working our way through it, trying to power some tunes. We have some really interesting collabs. We're actually collabing with a really big dubstep Anjuna artist on there. We can't reveal who, but I'm sure a lot of people will know who it is. And we're also going to be collabing with a few other Anjuna names for that album. And then we're going to be doing a lot of different things with the album. We want to get like really experimental, and we're just hoping that our fans can swallow it all, you know, because we do have a lot of the trance pure fans. So we're going to obviously include, you know, a couple of our sounds, like bring back the sound of The Gift and, you know, Bloom and stuff. So we're going to have a good amount of those so everyone can be happy. And then, you know, we're going to have some really experimental indie style glitch hop tracks and stuff like that. We're going to get really intricate with it, do a lot of sampling. We're basically going to go all across the board on this album. We want it to be something where people feel like they get a perspective of, like, not trance music, not dubstep, but they're just listening to it and they're like, wow, like, this is electronic music. This is like, I want to get up, I want to dance, I want to, you know, hang out, I'll clean my room to this. You know, you can do literally anything to it, and that's what we're going to strive for. And we just really hope that we capture that adventure that we have in our mind for what the album will be like. You know, we want it to be something where you put it in and you don't want to hit next track. You know, you want to just listen to it all the way through.
Well, I'm really excited for that. Any prospective date, or are you guys still just kind of...
We don't... Well, goals for next year.
Goals next year. Yeah.
We're going to try and really push in a lot of work and crank it out. But on top of that, you know, we've also got singles that we got to pay mind to, and we have a pretty experimental one coming soon that I think will be, you guys will hear on TATW soon or somewhere soon, but that's about all we can say about it. It gets pretty secretive around this industry. I suppose. This you know, the whole releasing of tracks is a lot like what the CIA does. It's very complex, and we have to keep a lot of it very in the dark. You know, I don't know why, but we just know that we have to know. But I think that what we have coming out soon, it's really different. You know, like you said, we like to push the envelope and go a lot different from the last of what we were doing, but it's still obviously got our sound in there. And then, you know, the EP after, the track after that we're working on for the next single after these two singles will be, we're going to actually touch back towards Bloom and kind of like do something a little bit more trancey and bring back like that feel that we had for that kind of track, you know. And we know a lot of fans want to hear that too, and we think it'll be good to show them how much further we've grown and how much further we can take a track like that now.
Well, I'm very excited to hear what you guys have in store, and I think that's about all I have for you. So thank you very much for your time, and it's been fun.
Definitely.